Chapter starts off with Momonosuke telling Yamato that Zunisha and him have spoken. Zunisha wants to help him fight. Yamato states, "It's just as Odin anticipated. You are the only one who will guide the world to the dawn." Then Momonosuke speaks about how Odin tore out the most important page of his journal. Momo wants to know what Odin and Roger saw on Laugh Tale. He questions himself about opening Wano's borders because he's not smart enough and asks Yamato for advice. What did you guys think about this conversation, Sebastian?
I thought it was cool. I loved the fact that Yamato and Momo did not read like deeper details about Raftel from Odin's logbook. Like I was so happy that the pages got ripped out. And as you could, they joked at me in the Discord because I'm a huge like Yamato's not joining person, and one of my reasons was she knows too much. This is like proof positive that she doesn't know that much. You know what I mean? There's a limit to what she knows. I thought it was really cool. You know, anytime you get conversation talking about Roger and Raftel and stuff is dope. And I did like Momo having that thought process, like, yo, if we even opened up Wano, like, what would that look like? Like, how would that impact the world? Like, the world is full of pirates like Kaido. Like, opening it up leads them to potentially being, you know, dealing with more stuff like this. You know what I mean? This is part of the reason why they've been an isolated nation for all this time. You know, at least in the, I don't want to say it's my headcanon, but in the political realm of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like that conflict within Momo because he knows what he has to do. It does need to be opened up. But, like, I like that it's not just like, yeah, we're going to open it up and that's what it is. I like that there's a philosophical dilemma within that, even within that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get a lot of that in One Piece. We haven't gotten a lot of it within Wano. So I like that it's happening to Momo right now. So I liked it. And, you know, like I know I bash Yamato a lot, but I'm willing to take, if she don't know, then that's cool. If she knew, it was a problem. She don't know. Now I'm leaning up my Yamato not joining stuff. I still don't think she joins, but that one barrier, she cleared it.
Okay.
She beat the knows too much allegations, as Quavo put in the chat. I think it was Quavo.
What about you, Law? What do you think about this conversation?
Again, I agree with Sebastian. It was interesting because especially the ending part, I'm going to go straight to that, is it's showing Yamato more as the Shogun. That he's not just, oh, I inherited this from my father. It's showing that he's actually trying to look into the best interest of what's for Wano. If it's going to hurt the people, it's like, even though that's my father's wishes, but if it's going to endanger the people, I better not do it. You know? And we see how much Momo looks up to his father. So he's actually prioritizing what his father's wishes. I mean, he's prioritizing the condition of the people more than what his father wants here. Because his father believes, he says, my father's not a prophet. He may believe this may be best, but if it's going to endanger the people, this is not the right choice. You know?
Right.
So Momo's showing that he's taking his position as Shogun very, very seriously, even though he's not in that position yet. So that adds to why I believe, Sebastian, he's going to stay in Wano because of how he's viewing the people. These are my people, and he's viewing for the care of them over what's going on. Yeah, he's proven that. But I also thought it was interesting that what's highlighted here, right, when Momo says, Yamato says, it's incredible that you could speak to the elephant. It's just like as your father Odin anticipated, you are the one, and R is highlighted, like you are the one to bring the dawn into the world, you know? So that made me think, like the dawn into the world, like Odin was writing about a prophecy or whatever, or someone's supposed to come. He's pointing to Momo here, that his son's going to bring the dawn. So I'm thinking, I thought of two things. Is that the dawn that's going to open up for Joy Boy, or is the dawn Joy Boy that's coming into the world, you know? So that made me think, was Odin actually pointing to his son being Momo? So, for example, you know how Roger pointed to Ace? Mm-hmm. He's going to be Joy Boy, or the one that's going to do it. Is Odin like, no, my son's going to do it, you know? That's kind of interesting to me.
Well, the prophecy says that Joy Boy will come to Wano.
Yeah.
I don't think Odin ever thought that, like, Momo would have to
come
escape.
from Wano.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, is it come to or from?
It's going to come to Wano.
Yeah.
Come to Wano.
So, like, Momo's from Wano. Like, it's not the same. I mean, that's a very small
But he was
difference,
gone for 20 years, though.
Exactly. So it still holds up.
Would Odin know that when he wrote that? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, probably not, but it depends, man, because he wrote that before he got back to Wano. I don't think he was writing when he was in Wano.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
unless
remember
his game plan was to have Toki teleport them into the future, which That's a lot. That's a lot of. But I could be wrong.
And one last thing, like pretty much that, and also, I'm trying to think. I know they're saying it's Odin, but the 2 pages ripped out. I'm thinking, why would Odin write it and then rip it out?
Go.
My bad. There is a scene of Toki ripping up pages.
Okay.
From that Odin gave her. So it's also possible that her, with the thought process, I'm gonna have to teleport these people into the future or whatever, like was like, I'm gonna rip these out. I think Jverse in Discord pointed that out. We don't have confirmation that those were the pages. We just know Odin gave Toki something. We don't know exactly what it was said on them, and she ripped them up. So those could be the pages of the logbook that she's talking about. But
she did read the note.
Yeah, she read it, then threw it, then chucked it.
Okay.
Are you done, Lance?
Yeah.
All right. So for me, I knew that Zunisha and him were talking from the get. I didn't think anything of that. What really interests me was what Yamato did say, as you did say. Like, here it goes again, the same wording that Odahime used, and I believe the same wording that King Neptune used with Robin about somebody guiding this new dawn. And it makes you think now, who's Joy Boy? Is it Momonosuke or is it going to be Luffy? And it comes into terms with one thing Sebastian said before. It's like, there's a couple of people who are candidates to be Joy Boy, and it's all about the crossroads. Like, for instance, Ace could have been Joy Boy right now if he won against Blackbeard. But considering that he lost against Blackbeard, he's no longer in contention to be Joy Boy.
Right.
But I think Momonosuke is not going to perish, and I know Luffy's not going to perish. So these two are like the leading examples of who's to be Joy Boy. It makes me think that, why did Oda bring up the sun god Nika? Like, is the sun god Nika Joy Boy, or are they actually two different beings? And I'm thinking at this point right now, like, they're two different beings. So I think, in my personal opinion, Momonosuke is probably going to be the sun god. So he's going to free slaves or something like that of that nature. Where it could also mean just freeing Wano to some degree, or freeing the world by his tech and stuff like that, right? And then Joy Boy is going to be Luffy. He's going to accomplish what the previous Joy Boy couldn't for the Fishman Island. He's going to finish that previous Joy Boy's task that he failed at. I think that's really what it is at this point for me. I'm not too sure, but it's an interesting and provoking thought that I think that we should all think about.
It's funny because if they are two different people, I think it's the opposite.
Same.
I think Luffy would be the sun god and Momo would be Joy Boy. In just from recent developments. But
it could go either way.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Odds are they're all just Luffy.
Yeah.
But,
and then for me, for Yamato, it's actually funny because I was always like, yo, Yamato's joining no matter what. And I was like, yo, Sebastian, she's always joining. I don't care what you say. But now I'm like, yo, she might not join. Because even though you thought she knew too much, he specifically asked Yamato for advice. And like, that's usually what are they called again?
The mentor?
No, not the mentors. When there's a king and somebody else that you look for guidance. What is it called?
An advisor?
An advisor.
Yeah.
She's going to be like an advisor for him.
Yeah.
Well, she's gonna be his retainer.
I don't want that to happen. I don't want that. I want Yamato to join the Straw Hats.
It's okay. Momo's joining.
But
Momo's not joining.
If she comes, it'll be because he joined.
Yeah. But did you have something to say, Lawrence?
Yeah, just the last so we can move on. I want to add, I believe what Sebastian was saying too. I was going to bring it up earlier, where I believe Luffy's probably going to be the sun, god, where Momo being possibly Joy Boy, because too, I was looking back at the promise, right, that Joy Boy made, and it had to do with Noah, right? And it was about, like, I guess, bringing the fishermen up, bringing Noah to the surface with the fishermen or something like that, right? But I was thinking Luffy was actually going to destroy Noah. Like, he was in act of doing it, Anyway, so if he destroys it, how could he fulfill the promise that Joy Boy wanted to do?
Hold on.
He didn't do it.
He didn't do it.
I know he
didn't do it.
He was stopped.
See,
but
See,
I was gonna bring up a hidden island theory that's like perfect for this, but we don't have time.
Yeah, we don't have time. We do it another time. Yeah. All right.